If you want a portable grinder for trips, or if space in your kitchen is more disputed than the Fifth Avenue in New York, the Outin Fino looks like a perfect solution. But here's what I really wanted to know. Can it actually make a good espresso? Is it fast enough for at least 2 coffees in the morning? And does it hold up when you push it hard? I tested it in some pretty challenging scenarios, and some results were quite surprising. This grinder weighs less than 700 grams, about a quarter of my Shardor, and 1/8 of my DF64. Only 40 grams more than a K6, but twice the P2. It's compact, well built, metal inside, some plastic casing, and I really like the design. It doesn't feel cheap at all. It's relatively quiet too. Much better than my DF64. That doesn't bother me, but if you're sensitive to noise, this is a real benefit. Battery life, enough for a full day of coffee, around 6 light roast espressos or 8 with a medium light roast. And some users on Reddit reported up to 18 doses of 18 grams on one full charge. A full charge takes about 1 hour with a 15 watts charger via USB-C. And just notice this, it won't grind while plugged in. Not because it's bad, but because grinding needs much more power than a small USB charger can deliver. And about modding, I saw some people on Reddit adding a 3-pole DC barrel jack like a guitar stone boxes, but these jacks are usually rated for much lower current. It can melt insulation, short out, and it's a fire hazard. I don't recommend it unless you design a proper circuit with high power MOSFETs or relays, and that's not trivial. Back to the point, one charge is more than enough for most users. But that's not where things get interesting. It's easy to use. You twist the hopper, adjust the grind size on the collar, the clicks are visible with an LED showing the position, and you have 28 clicks from espresso to French press. I thought it would be limited, but in reality it works reasonably well. And you don't have to recalibrate the zero after removing the burr for cleaning. The manual says to add beans before starting, but I don't do that with electric grinders. The initial torque is high, so I prefer to hot start and slow feed to protect the motor. And yes, if you dump all the beans at once with dense light roasts like in Ethiopia, you can stall it. That happened to me once. It overheated, stop it, cool down, and resume it. With medium roasts, no issues at all. And one small tip. After it stops, give it a tap or shake to make sure no small pieces are stuck inside it. Now, I really wanted to see how far I could push it. I wasn't grinding 7 or 8 grams for the regular basket in my Outin Nano. I used the 16 grams for the basket plus or for my Delonghi Stilosa, and a very dense light roast Ethiopia. That's way more challenging. I tested clicks 0, 1 and 2. Each 16 grams grind took between 1 minute and 20 seconds and 1 minute and 40 seconds. And I was slow feeding to avoid stalling. Slow? Well, when we are used to corded electric grinders, yes. For a portable electric grinder, I think it's acceptable. But here's where I hit the limit. Click 0 gave me a very good espresso, but I wanted to go 1 click finer, just to check if it would get even better. And I couldn't. That was the minimum. So the only option would be increasing the dose. But I was already happy with this shot, and this tells you something important. For espresso, I would avoid going lighter than medium light roasts. And if it's fermented or very fruity, that matters even more, especially if you prefer more traditional espresso. One thing that really surprised me was the precision. When you change the settings, it feels like a big jump between steps. But in reality, it changes by around 20 microns per click only. And that matches with my results. I made an espresso in the click 0. It took 21 seconds, in the click 1 17 seconds, and in the click 2 14 seconds. Same dose, same yield, just 3 to 4 seconds difference per click. Retention was also low, under 0.1 grams even after disassembling and brushing the grinder. And it doesn't create a lot of static either, as you can see. Inside, it uses a 38mm heptagonal burr. It looks similar to the P2, but the geometry is less aggressive, probably to reduce torque in a battery-powered device. Now, the batteries are not designed to be user replaceable. That's a big downside for me, because batteries won't last forever, maybe 4 or 5 years, while the rest of the grinder probably would. However, even though Outin doesn't recommend, if you are a tinkerer with the right bits, you can access and replace them. Just be careful. If you short-circuit or invert the polarity, you can fry the electronics. And even worse, lithium batteries can explode. So only do this if you truly know what you're doing. Switching gears to taste, it was juicy, floral, slightly acidic, lighter body, mostly because of the light roast. And compared to the P2, Outin Fino was more extracted and slightly more bitter. The P2 had more clarity and complexity, but honestly, I liked both cups. For V60, it grinds 10 grams in 25 to 30 seconds and delivers a good cup. Just not as clear as something like a ZP6, of course, but you have to choose convenience and portability or maximum clarity. And here's how I see it. P2, the cheapest, I paid 31 euros, very portable, great value, more clarity, but super hard to grind light roast for espresso. K6, even more clarity, around 100 euros, less of a workout for espresso, but not effortless, and heavier than a P2. Outin Fino, around 200 euros, a bit pricey in my view, but it's electric and portable. Not the clearest, but it can deliver very good cups. If you hate hand grinding, have physical limitations, or simply want electric convenience in a small space, this makes sense. And before we wrap up, a quick disclaimer. Outin sent me this grinder for review. They had no access to my tests, they didn't see this video before publishing, and they had zero influence on the results or conclusions. If you want to support the channel, I'll leave affiliate links for all the gear I mentioned in the description at no extra cost for you. And if you're interested in Outin products, you can use my coupon Espresso Hackers for 10% off on the official Outin store. If you're already on an Outin Fino, I would love to hear your experience. And one special request, if you have any doubts about the Delonghi Stilosa, drop them in the comments. I've been using it without mods for a few months now, and I'm preparing a full video before I start the upgrades. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel, and see you in the next one. Ciao!